Okay, did everyone get a purple thing? Okay, so we're moving on to a new style of essay. So far, we have talked about rhetorical analysis. That's one essay. And argument is one essay, and that's what they call them on the AP test. There is another essay, and it actually will appear before all the others on the test. Yes, we did. So synthesis essays are still arguments. Synthesis essays are still arguments. They are still where you are going to use all the same skills that you used in the argument essay, meaning your argument is central. You are still writing a thesis based on your opinions. You still use transitions in the same way. You still set up the outline the same way. The only difference is instead of pulling examples out of your memory and your experience, you pull examples from a list of sources that they give you. And you can either quote from those sources, or you can paraphrase, or what I want you to do, which is a mixture of quoting and paraphrasing. And you use these sources to back up the points that you're making. But it is still a good idea to come up with like your own position on a topic that they give you, even before you read the sources, so that you can know that your argument is central. So someone online, some English teacher, made a sample synthesis essay. And it's usually the synthesis essays are about kind of more boring topics. Like one year it was about windmills, whether we should have more windmills, or one year it was about the penny. Should we get rid of the penny? Or daylight savings, or honor code. Honor code was a good one.
Yeah, that's a hot.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, or libraries. But you know how the argument essays are more like philosophical. Like, what do you think of ownership? Do you think that it's good to face the unknown? Those kind of questions. These are more practical questions. Like, moving forward in our country, should we have the penny anymore? And you can take a position on it. Still same thesis though. You say yes and why, or no and why. You would actually state the claim. We should not have the penny for these reasons. For this reason, we should keep it to one reason, and you would develop it the same way. This one is about still about one of those practical circumstances, but it's a little more goofy. So the other day, again, not a real AP prompt, made up. The other day, Mark Tetrault and his girlfriend of 6 months, Carly McIntosh, got in a rather large fight because he went to a bonfire at his friend Matt's house without her. Carly and Matt don't get along, so Mark knew she wouldn't have had any fun. I had fun anyway. Now, they seem to be getting along for the last 2 weeks, but since the fight, a lot of information has been revealed, and now Mark needs to make a decision about his relationship. So read the following sources and accompanying textual information carefully. Then, in a letter that synthesizes from at least 3 of the sources for support, evaluate the most important factors Mark should consider when deciding whether or not to continue to date Carly McIntosh. So we are just trying to decide if these two should keep dating. Yes.
So it says in a letter, like you're writing it.
We are going to ignore the in a letter part.
Okay. Open letter.
Because I haven't seen an in a letter thing. Yeah, we're going to publish it in the paper. Mark should dump Carly. I haven't seen a letter AP prompt since the 90s. So I think that we're going to ignore the letter part. We're going to pretend that we are writing an essay, and maybe Mark will see this essay and know what to do. But our audience is pretty clear. Our audience is Mark, because these are the factors that Mark should consider. And then it's got this list of sources. It has them alphabetized like A, B, C, D, E, F, but then it also in parentheses has a name that you can use. And you actually, for the AP test, do not have to know how to use proper MLA citations. And instead, you use these as your citation. And you just choose one that you want to use. You stay consistent. Either do the A, B, C, D, F, which is what I recommend, or use the names that they give you for citing. You still use in-text citations, but these aren't proper MLA.
So you can just say source A, like after the quote.
Yeah.
And you just put A.
Yep. Yeah, you can just write A. All right, so let's look at the sources. Exactly. Before we can It get involved in Mark and Carly. All right, source A is their schedule.
The source is from 2013.
Dude, Carly needs to need a life. Tough.
They often will give you like either one graph or one like kind of
One
schedule
graph.
like this as one of the sources. So it's kind of visual in that way. It's still informational, but it's like got these visuals to it. So it's not like you can really quote from the schedule, but you can reference the schedule, and that would be using the source. And you see, Mark is a busy dude. And Carly works 8 hours a week. Not nothing, but then the rest of the time it's like hang with Mark. All right, and then source B is statements from people at the school. Danielle is a credible source for accurate school gossip, but she's also overdramatic. She is always involved in some sort of school drama. Yes, even the club. She is drama club, I get it. She has actually told Mark, I actually was told by Sarah that Carly was cheating on you with John, but you know how Sarah can be.
Wait, so this is an actual AP prompt?
No.
I was like,
No, some English teacher made this.
Okay.
Someone in like Ohio or something.
AP thing.
Zach, he's an interesting character, but nonetheless, he is good friends with Carly. By the way, he actually likes her as well. He revealed to Danielle as they sat together on the bus that I was talking to Carly the other day, and she is convinced that Mark is cheating on her because Mark has been on the phone with Anna for the last 2 nights. Who's Anna? I guess Carly is going to break up with him.
Mark has also been on
Anna Peterson happens to be absolutely stunning. She's a major flirt, though. Says Josh, and
Josh.
his is holy
Josh.
Josh. Carly McIntosh also has had 6 boyfriends in the last year. But
She
before,
has 5 boyfriends in 6 months.
and it wasn't just that they were dating, they were boyfriends. Wow. Okay, but guys, before that, she dated one kid for 3 years from 8th to 10th grade. Says Lindsay.
It doesn't even count.
Lindsay, who spells Lindsay like
I know,
that?
it's weird.
I don't, maybe it's a message, like some of them are capitalized and some aren't, so like, this is who you
All right, Mark was overheard saying after 1 week of dating, I really enjoy hanging out with Carly. She's cute, funny, and all around awesome. I think I'm in love with her. This is the boy we're trying to decide if they're to break up.
Red flags.
And then Mr. Freitas wants to chime in. Has publicly told his classes after a popular couple broke up a week earlier. I love that, like I would know. I just think that's so funny. It's just like, oh, which couples are dating? What? Oh, perfect. Yeah, Tim Freitas. Of course he's involved. All right. I don't think dating in high school is very wise. In fact, unless you can picture yourself comfortably married within a year, you shouldn't be dating at all, no matter what your age.
What? That's not a credible source. That's not how it works. Don't know, man.
Yikes.
All right, let's go to source C now. So this is Twitter, and this is Carly tweeting on October 20th at 9:35 p.m. Do we have we don't have dates for the schedule. Okay, but she says Netflix, junk food, and gossip with Sarah. Hashtag girls night. Hashtag secrets are so fun. Yeah. Hashtag BFF. Hashtag Friday night. So we know this is going on Friday night.
Secrets are so fun. It's someone you should not be dating. That's gonna be my argument.
Okay, source D is a kind of outside source. This is from a teen magazine. It says 10 reasons dating in high school is overrated. We know the pressure to date in high school is overwhelming and often all-consuming, particularly for those of you who have not found your first BF/GF yet. If you find yourself regularly feeling left behind or like you're the only one without a SIGO. Did anyone ever say that? Significant other. Significant other. Okay, let's bring it back. I know Siggo undid us here, but we have 2 secrets to share with you. 1, everyone in your grade is just as stressed as you about dating. The guys, the girls, everyone. Even the ones paired off are stressed about being paired off. 2, this one is important, so pay close attention. Flying through high school solo can actually be a much more fun experience. You may not even realize how many ways you have it better than your paired off friends, but there are a ton. Click through the slideshow below for 10 reasons to enjoy your current life as part of a non-couple, and feel free to revisit this every time you find yourself thinking, OMG, why am I still single?
No, I'm still single, guys.
You are single because you're awesome. And also because dating in high school is way, way overrated.
Now they're arguing that argument in the essay. It's overrated. Dating in high school.
No, I bet it's written about by adults.
What is this?
That sounds like
Yeah.
Oh, but you can't.
All right, this next one.
So this is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
This next one is especially cringy because you can definitely tell it's written by an adult, but we're still going to use it as evidence here. So the first one is text messages on Mark's phone. He's such a jerk. Well, what are you going to do if you don't come with me? Why does it matter? Obviously, you care more about Matt than me. Don't be like that. You invited me weeks ago. Well, have fun. Talk to you later. Don't be like that. What is ILY?
I love you.
Shorten I love you. Oh my gosh. That's sad. Now you're ignoring me. Real nice. Whatever. Then Matt says, this is a. Yeah. She says, coming tonight. And I don't know. Wait, who says coming tonight? Matt? Okay. Okay. Carly says, I don't know. Carly won't come and is giving me crap. She won't even text me back now. So dumb. Then come without her. I won't miss her. LOL. Yeah, I know. Anna texted me that she needs a ride. Anna's coming. You are too then. You can't ditch your bestie. LOL. Yeah. We'll probably be there at like 9. Oh shoot, the picture didn't show up that clear. Okay, hang on. All right, I'll pull up the picture in a second.
These usernames, Mark.
So Anna, this is the girl best friend, right? The picture, and I'll show you in a second, is the boy like carrying the Anna piggyback. And it's liked by all those people. And then it's Anna Banana says, me and my fave guy at Matt's bonfire last night, no matter what, he's always got my back. Or I have his, LOL, BFF, bestie, fall, love him. And then she tags him. And Mark comments and says, who took this pic? It's awesome. And Lindsay Lou, we know Lindsay from before, you two are freaking awesome. Bestie goals, photo cred.
So now I can't tell who needs to dump who.
All right.
All of them die.
Okay, so Nate, I'm gonna have you move over and talk to that group that you talked to, and then you guys are talking together, and let's have Zoe come over here, and you guys are talking together, and then you four are talking. As a group. Hang on, let me explain. I don't need you guys to come up with an answer you all agree on. You might disagree, but as a group, I just want you to discuss the evidence, kind of where you're lying right now in terms of whether Mark should break up with Carly. I don't think Sarah's ever done it. Hi, Claire.
Hello.
So Gatsby ended a little sooner than I thought. And so I've got them started on this synthesis packet. So we're doing a new style of essay called synthesis. And I added you to the Canvas assignment for today. and there's a link that says Synthesis Introduction. And it's got all of the sources on there. So while they're talking in these little groups about those sources, just look through those sources yourself, see what you think.
Okay, so I just look through them and do the assignment with it.
You
Or
don't have
just
to
wait.
do any assignment with it. You're just right now, you're just looking through the sources.
Okay.
It's all about like dating. It's a made up
Okay.
assignment. It's not real.
Okay.
I know. I wish you got to write about dating.
Is that real though?
Okay, that's the picture. And banana. And Mark.
That's guys, I'm throwing the bonfire.
I don't get how to read. So guys, that's like.
Right.
So we know like the. Okay. I know how to show that. So Mark and Mark is probably the red flag. We will break again. Yeah. Single 3 years old. So actually, I was
You always are. This one should mark. You guys. I don't know about these two.
I'm scary. It was so. And then he like, it's like, I don't know, like, whoa.
All right, so I'm gonna have you come back to this desk because I want to have this desk for my. No, you're all right. Okay, let's talk together. So when you get these packets, obviously, maybe not so obviously, when you see the real thing, you'll notice that the sources tend to be more academic than this. There will usually be some sort of graph or calendar like we have here. There will occasionally be some sort of visual like the Instagram post here, but more often it'll be like a political cartoon. And then the rest of them will be, I don't know, longer article sources. They do shorten them though. Like you won't have one that will go for longer than a page. And you get a 15 extra minutes on this style of essay to read through all the sources first. So you get 15 minutes to read the sources and then 40 minutes to write the essay. But I just didn't want you to get a false sense of security because this wouldn't take you 15 minutes to read through because they're pretty basic. But that being said, you still are going to have this mixture of sources that seem more credible than others. And they'll always give you the information about the sources up at the top. This one doesn't, but they usually say, oh, this is from this particular source, like the Teen Magazine one does it. You get the date, you get when it was updated, you'll probably get an author information, like you'll get some info that lets you know if it's reliable. And we'll talk more about how to tell when those academic sources are reliable.
So part of it is telling which sources are more reliable.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you can't use all the sources. It's just that you need to have some sort of awareness of which ones are credible and which ones aren't.
Can
Yes.
you like almost like use the source, but like prove that the source is wrong to
Yes.
prove your point?
Yes, exactly. So that you can look at this source and you can say, okay, in some ways I see what this source is arguing and they might have a point, but they're not that credible for these reasons. And so my point is better. Mhm. So let's go through these sources and think about which ones are going to be credible and in which ways. Source A, what do you think about this source's sort of level of credibility?
Yes.
So someone says not credible and someone says absolutely credible. So let's hear about not credible first.
Okay, I sort of look at credible because for one, we know like one piece of information about Sarah, so we don't know a lot about like her background too much with her, right? Like we hear all about the text and stuff like that.
Oh, you're talking about the Friday night.
Oh wait, sorry, I lied. I was getting too far ahead.
Oh, okay. Okay, we'll get there.
I was
So
getting too far ahead.
awesome. So you're thinking more about the tweet.
Yes. sorry,
We'll
that was
get
my
there.
bad.
Let's talk about the calendar then. So why does the calendar feel like a good source of information?
Well, it's just their schedules of talking an opinion.
All right, good. It seems to be neutral and factual.
Mark's a good guy.
So sometimes in my calendar, I do actually write down things that feel like biased. Like it'll be like grade the stupid papers, you know, like this is a way to like vent. So look at the language here and what makes us know that this is not like doesn't have this kind of bias is just factual. Yeah.
Well, it's not biased, it's just saying what they're doing without adding like, oh, why they're doing it.
Okay, good.
But I think it's like really interesting because like Mark goes to church and he goes to youth group. She doesn't have anything like that. And he's on a team, so he's obviously good at working with other people. And all of her stuff is like she has one thing where she's working with other people, and the rest of it is just like, oh, hanging with someone.
Okay, so from what so
So
we've
it
kind
seems
of
like
moved on a
he's-
little.
It seems like he's not self-centered, but like he's like trying to like do lots of other things and not seems like she's just worried about himself.
Okay, so she doesn't collaborate as much.
Because he's like
She
doing like
seems
basketball a bunch. And like if you're on a team that intensive in it, you gotta know how to like work with people and work with someone.
okay. So what we've done here is we've looked at sort of like credibility. There is one spot on it where it does feel like it is slightly biased. And again, having a bias is not a bad thing. If you see where there's like a slight bias in this, yeah.
It says surprise date with Carly, exclamation point, less than 3.
Yeah, good. So-
Less than
3. Oh, and I didn't even notice there's another one too, because I was looking at that one exactly. Surprise date with Carly. He seems super excited about it. He does the little heart emoji, right? And then look at Friday night for Carly. She says, girls' night with Sarah, double exclamation point. So it does seem like they do have like some excitement in it, but I wouldn't necessarily say this is bias that causes us not to trust that this is actually their schedule. Ooh, okay, so where are Mark's exclamation marks?
So
It's a question mark.
Yeah.
also it says like Saturday, which it does say like the surprise date with Carly,
Mhm.
but then also on the same day she's like, am I hanging with Mark? Am I not? 'Cause there's like the question mark. So it's kind of like she's not very much.
But it's a
Like,
surprise.
it's 6 to, she doesn't know what time it ends.
Oh, I see. 6 to when are we gonna be hanging out? Because it's a surprise. She doesn't know. Also, he's taking her to Melting Pot, which is really expensive.
And
Yeah.
Sarah's committed.
Hang on.
And a movie.
What is a melting pot?
Melting Pot is a fondue place.
Oh, okay. That's
So it's like, I mean, it's like $30 a plate minimum.
Yeah, he's
Not to take her
really
there.
committed.
We load it.
And
Stay with them. Stay with them.
And a movie on Saturday.
Hang on, let me get Tance, yeah.
Separate, so maybe he's going on a date to like McDonald's with Carly, and then on his own, he's going to Melting Pot.
I don't think that's it. I think we see that it starts at 6.
And a movie.
All right. Elsa pointed out that like hers are more like kind of self-centered here, and his seem to be more collaborative, or like that he's like working with people more. What other information do we get from the calendar that seems relevant? Yeah.
So I think that it shows kind of that he's a lot more independent than she is. Like, yes, he's collaborating, but he's also like doing things like for himself. Like he's going to church, he's going to basketball practice, going to youth group. These are all not things that he's doing like for a person or like to have time with people. He's just doing them for himself. Like not in like a selfish way, in like a self-improvement and like being his own person kind of way.
Okay.
Whereas it looks like Carly, the only thing she's doing are like dependent on other people.
Yeah. Okay, good. I like that. Any other information that we get from the calendar that seems like it could be relevant? I mean, maybe the obvious one here is just like Mark is busy too. Like he has a lot going on. He's got friends, he's got the basketball team, he has family, he has lots of stuff. Whereas Carly's schedule seems to be a little bit more open. All right. Source B is complicated because it includes a bunch of sources within it, and sometimes they will do that on these AP sources. So we kind of have to determine the credibility of these different sources. So Danielle, they say she's a credible source for accurate school gossip, but she's also over dramatic. And then she was told by Sarah. Wait, who's Sarah? Oh, Carly's friend. Okay. She was told by Sarah that Carly was cheating on Mark with John, but you know how Sarah can be. So what do you think? Is Danielle, they say, credible source for accurate school gossip. Do we trust Danielle or no? Yeah.
Sorry, this is what I was trying to talk about.
Okay, tell me.
So right, for one, so first red flag, she says she's over dramatic. She might be credible if she's over dramatic. So first red flag for that. Another red flag is like it's like a link of gossip. It's not like a direct source, right? It was from Sarah and then to Danielle and then to like whoever to us, I guess. Another thing, even if she is being credible, Danielle's not even sure herself if Sarah's information is credible. So Danielle is credible, but we don't know if Sarah's credible. Thank you for coming for that.
Awesome. Danielle's credible, but is Sarah? Yes, awesome. So they will do that to you sometimes. There will be these kind of like, I don't know that I spelled hearsay right. It might be H-A-R would make more sense. Anyway, it could be hearsay, that it's like coming through these like links of gossip, like Josie called it. So it's like, it's not even a direct source. If we heard from Sarah herself, maybe that could be more credible, but it's like, she's an accurate source for gossip, but gossip tends not to be accurate. Right. So here she is like, yeah, she's spreading the gossip in an accurate way, but we don't know that the source is accurate.
Well, I think she like has all the information about the gossip, but that doesn't mean the gossip like is true, you know? Because gossip isn't true, but she's like, oh yeah, I know all the stuff that's going on, what people are saying.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
the actual what is happening.
Exactly. Okay. Zach. He's an interesting character. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. But nonetheless, he is good friends with Carly. By the way, he actually likes her as well. And he revealed to Danielle, the school gossip, they sat together on the bus, that he was talking to Carly, and she's convinced that Mark is cheating on her because Mark is hanging out, was on the phone with Anna all the time. And so then Carly's going to break up with him. Okay. Again, lots of hearsay there, lots of like layers to information, but what do you think? Yeah.
I think that we can't trust this because he likes Carly, so he's inclined to like lean all his information towards Carly and Mark isn't gonna stay a thing.
Right. He's like sort of manifesting it, put it out into the universe, and maybe it will happen.
Also telling it to Danielle, who knows gossip on purpose. And I think he's trying to spread that to get them to break up.
So does he want to sabotage the happy couple?
The unhappy
Happy?
couple.
Yeah.
It also says that he likes her as well, so maybe like other feelings that they had in the past. And she's also like going from boyfriend to boyfriend to boyfriend. So maybe he's like, well, I could be the next one and it could be more permanent.
Okay, that's an
But
interesting idea.
It also says like he's like a good friend to her, so they have like a lot of history. So maybe he thinks he has a better chance than someone who just met and decided to date.
Awesome. Okay, so there's like this vested interest that actually does feel like it could go somewhere. It's not just some stranger that has a crush on her and is saying this stuff. It's somebody who's like, I could be next in line.
Yeah, who's been there all along.
Yeah. Yeah, Josie.
I think even if you were like, oh, like we can kind of trust the source, which I personally wouldn't all that much.
Mhm.
I think it could be almost like right, an exaggeration of the truth, maybe not completely a lie, but I think it shows us that Carly actually gets jealous easily because there is no actual evidence or like something really big like showing like, oh, like she walked in on them kissing or something.
Yeah.
It was like she heard him on the phone with like, apparently his best friend. So if we want to count it as credible, we could say Carly, we can use this to say Carly gets jealous.
Yeah, maybe it's not about cheating, but it is about Carly's emotional state. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. It's like they might just be talking because they're talking about math.
And if she's,
Yeah.
if she's in his youth group, then he has scheduled things of why he would be talking to her.
Yeah, definitely.
But also other things about them, like I think more brothers and sister relationship.
Wait, we're getting out of ourselves.
Sorry.
Because Anna is stunning. And she's a major flirt, says Josh. Can we trust Josh? Who's Josh?
Josh
Yeah.
is not mentioned anywhere else.
Surprise.
Josh is in none of the references.
That actually is relevant that we don't know who this source is. We don't know what their credibility is. We get no extra information about them. That is important when you're looking for source credibility.
I mean, what's the connection? It's just a random-
All right, yeah, just some rando. So if we don't know who he is, maybe we should not think about him.
Maybe Josh is just so popular that it's just Josh.
Everyone knows who Josh is.
Living under
All
a
right.
rock?
Lindsay, the only other thing we know about Lindsay is that she comments on the Instagram post and we know that she took that picture and that she loves Mark and Anna. She says you two are freaking awesome.
I think she
Freaking
ships
awesome.
them.
So, and this is the one who says Carly has all the boyfriends. So is Lindsay credible?
No.
No.
No, why not?
She's biased because she prefers
Okay.
Anna's
Whoa, wait.
Okay, yeah.
I think she's biased, but she's still credible.
Okay, why?
So I think she's definitely biased because she really does ship Anna and Mark. It's pretty clear. And that's why she says that, oh yeah, Carly's had 6 boyfriends in the last year. But she also mentions that she dated one kid for 3 years before that. So it seems like she's still trying to give all the information. She just wants something specific to come out of it, if that makes sense.
Yes, so she might present both sides to the story. And it might be like that she's saying, she might forefront the one that says,
Yeah.
Carly McIntosh, I love that she says the full name. Carly McIntosh also has had 6 boyfriends in the last year. She might forefront that information to be like, look at her, she gets around. But then she still does include she dated one kid for 3 years. And I do also like that she includes this 8th to 10th grade. I know that's simple, but maybe just one more little fact about it does give it some credibility. Yeah.
Maybe he broke her heart so much you can't trust him.
That's why she's jealous. Maybe every one of these 6 boyfriends were bad. Tell me this, what do we learn? Oh yeah.
Before. But I don't know if Josh, since we only hear from like that one time, and Lindsay and Josh both spell like full caps.
Yeah.
I think Josh was made up by them.
That's their handwriting looks the same. That's why we're just even not even gonna consider Josh. We don't even know if he's real. All right.
Next class funeral for Josh.
Wait. No, for Josh.
Josh.
All right. What do we learn from that information though, because it is not about Carly and Mark. It's just about her having 6 boyfriends and then one boyfriend for 3 years. Why is that relevant? Yeah.
Okay, it says that Carly and Mark have been dating for 6 months. So if in the last year she's had 6 boyfriends, do the math, that's 5 boyfriends in 6 months.
What's wrong with that?
You can't have a committed relationship with
Okay.
boyfriend, girlfriend is supposed to be in that short amount of
Oh my
time.
gosh, that's right.
So she has commitment issues.
Yeah. So maybe she just.
But it also does point out that she likes Mark more than the other ones, because she was with him for 6 months and the other ones were all together in 6 months. So
Here's money, so stay. Quiet. All right, Josie.
Right, so, right, first commitment, but we have that. It gives us information on like Carly's personality, right? Why can't she stay committed? Is it, like, again, does she get jealous easily? Is she the one initiating like toxic relationships? Like, like, for some reason, there's a certain reason why Carly has so many boyfriends and she's breaking up with
Is it-
people, getting with other people so
Is it a
fast.
social experiment?
Is she maybe attracted to the wrong kind of guy and she always like realizes that it's the wrong kind of guy for her, but she keeps going for the wrong kind of guy? I don't know. Yeah, let's see.
it kind of seems she has a boyfriend so fast. Maybe she keeps getting broken up with. The next one, she takes the next one, has another.
So the commitment issue then is also about, is there a history of cheating? Everyone's talking about cheating so much. Like, why did these boyfriends break up? All right. Mark says about himself that he might be in love with Carly. Do we trust Mark as a credible source? This one's tricky. Can Mark be a credible source on his own feelings?
Yes.
I mean, I think you can, but that doesn't mean that his feelings are
His feelings don't matter.
legitimate. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, Josie.
Right, I think like, here's the thing where I think he likes her, don't get me wrong. But one, it's high school.
Yeah.
And the L word is a pretty big word.
Yeah.
Right, like saying like you love someone, like high schoolers don't generally like truly have that kind of relationship with each other. And even if he did, he's not gonna have it after 1 week of dating. So
Yeah.
I think he likes her, but I don't think he knows like absolutely in love.
Yeah.
Okay, I tried that show Love is Blind because everyone was talking about it.
gosh.
It's so trash. But I mean, those people they said they loved each other after 4 days on that first episode. I just watched like 20 minutes of the first episode. I can't, I won't watch it anymore, no. Kaylee?
Okay, so I think this is an example of the teacher who made this not know the teacher, because what guy is going to say out loud to other people, "Oh, yeah, I think I love my girlfriend," after a week?
What kind of guy is that? Maybe we learned a little bit about Mark. Maybe he's genuine, yeah.
I'm sure his
A little bit.
maybe
Maybe
in a
he's-
text conversation.
No,
Yes,
maybe he's a teenager. He's like one or other hormones.
Maybe he's hormonal. All right. Oh, yeah, Laura. Hey, guys.
I think you need to see.
Well, I'm not saying that like maybe he doesn't love her, but I feel like people who are in a relationship for have just barely gotten into a relationship, they're like especially very lovey-dovey.
Yeah.
Honeymoon phase.
I don't know if you can trust
Rose-colored glasses.
Great point. It's like this honeymoon phase, and maybe he even does love her for a moment, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't break up with her now.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last bit, Mr. Freitas.
No, Mr. Freitas is the most
It's
accurate.
not even relevant.
I don't know what to say.
Why don't we trust the teacher?
Because he doesn't have any relationship.
Teachers are left out, so you
Yeah,
know,
he's not a wife.
It's not related to conversation. It's related to dating or not to relationships. So like,
Okay. Yeah, Zoe.
I have a comment on Mark. Is that okay?
Yes.
So
Quiet, guys.
maybe this is just my personal opinion, but I think if you really do like love someone, you would make it work no matter the situation or what's happening. And so I think if he's just, oh, I'm gonna break up with her, I do not think it's actual love, because I don't know, if you care for someone that much, you're not gonna be like, bye. Let this be done.
Especially over something so small as a bonfire.
Anyways.
If my husband didn't want to come to a bonfire with me, I'm not breaking up with him.
and then find excuses to break up with you.
All right, so Mr. Freitas, it's not relevant, it's not related. But it is, he's like basically saying like, don't get so invested in these teenage relationships. You shouldn't date at all.
Any relationship.
Yeah, so but it's related, isn't it? Why don't we trust it?
Well, it's related to dating, but we can't, so we can use it to like, be like, oh, this is the reason why you shouldn't date in high school, but we can't be like, you shouldn't date Carly because of these reasons, like, you can't use
Yes.
it against Carly because he's not talking about their specific relationship.
Okay, great. So do we trust Mr. Freitas when he says you shouldn't date in high school?
I think it also comes down to is Mr. Frey single or not? Because then, like, if he's saying don't date, if you don't see yourself getting married to them in a year, like, is he married?
Yeah,
Like,
okay.
logic.
We need more information about what kind of a teacher he is, what his relationship status is. We just don't have enough info about him to really trust him. Just because he's an adult
We
doesn't
can
mean he
look
knows
him up.
anything about.
He's a real person. Let's go to white pages.
Dude, I mean, you can find him. I mean,
Okay. right
that's
now.
pretty crazy advice. Like, don't date until you want to get married. Maybe not crazy, but that's extreme. All right.
I mean, you have to be on your schedule.
Exactly.
So you know
To
what you
learn about
each
each
other.
I don't feel like
This person never gonna get married.
All right, let's move on. Source C. Twitter. And this is directly from Carly, who is talking about her Friday night with Sarah. So do we trust what she is saying here? Can we trust that she's sort of representing herself in an accurate way here?
Oh, here we go.
It's Twitter. Well, actually,
Well, there's-
it's Twitter. Let me think about it.
Yeah. Kaylee, sorry.
What we do know is that that is what she has in her schedule, so I don't think she's lying about what she's doing. How she feels about it, on the other hand, may be misrepresented, but she's not lying that she was with Sarah.
Okay. Why would she not feel good about it? Is there a?
That's the same day as
That's the same day as the bonfire. Okay, sorry. Thank you. Ugh. It's so juicy. Yes.
I think the source was supposed to also aid in Danielle's like credibility kind of thing,
Mhm.
right? Because I think I was trying to say like, oh, and Sarah heard this information probably from this girls' night they had. But I think because we can kind of discredit Danielle's source, we can also a little bit discredit like it wouldn't work to credit Danielle's source either way.
Yeah. Okay. So I do think part of that though is to show that there is a relationship between Carly and Sarah then. All right. And that they're having this girls' night. Secrets are so fun. So there's something secret going on. All right. Yeah, totally.
Oh, I got ahead.
Oh, okay. All right. But we can kind of trust that she's representing at least what like she wants to the world. Like maybe she's not being accurate about herself because it is social media and you're putting your sort of like best foot forward. But I think we can trust that she actually is watching Netflix, eating junk food and gossiping with Sarah, like as a factual thing. Yeah, just
Even though that is factual, we can't use this because one, even if we try to with like the whole secret thing, it's too generalized. We have no information about that.
okay.
So right, too generalized, and also it doesn't even like again, it's not as related as it needs to be. Like you can like really stretch it and try to make those links, but it wouldn't work out.
Okay, good point. Yeah, Elsa.
I think the only way that we can use it is that she was like upset that he didn't invite her to the bonfire when she already obviously had plans for Friday night.
Oh.
Because she was like, you know, like why didn't you invite me? I think that was it. One of the other ones.
She had plans, but she's still mad. Okay.
It's like, oh, FOMO with something you're not even interested in going for and already have
Yeah.
something fun that you're gonna do.
Okay,
Like,
all
All right, hang on. Tell me about the accuracy of source D. Because this one is more in line with what the AP sources actually will be like. Did you find out about Mr. Freitas?
Yes.
Okay.
Tim Freitas, age 75.
So he gets teenagers,
He
yeah.
used to live in Boise, Idaho, so we can kind of get the vibe there. We can call him up. His cell phone number. You can't see his criminal records. I don't want to say.
His cell phone number.
Yeah, guy has
If you want to judge your source based off it, there are multiple Freitas. I just assumed that one was him.
It's
because
Tim with 2 M's. Was
I
that?
couldn't find it. He might have changed his name.
He added another M to maintain anonymity.
That's the first song we were saying.
Okay.
Josh.
All right.
Should I look up Josh?
Let's So Teen Magazine, how credible is this source? Kaylee?
This source is not credible. It uses the term pseudo.
Yeah, what is this?
It seems like someone hacked.
Wait, I'm going on the urban dictionary. I'm going on the urban dictionary.
Kind of wonder if this was written around the same time as Uggo to call people ugly. And so it's
What?
like,
Oh, I remember.
yeah. 2018.
What?
This was
Okay.
Oh, it's short for significant other.
Well, yeah, I told you that.
Wait, I didn't know that.
Oh, 20.
Bro.
Yeah, that's about time for Uggo.
It just like.
Maybe. Anyway, yes, Josie.
Okay, so the reason that you couldn't use this as like a huge credible source is because, right, just like you wouldn't use like literally BuzzFeed as a credible source, you couldn't use this as a credible source because it's just random people on the internet, not people. But
Let's do random.
you could
Just
use
annoying
this
to say
in a way to represent, you know, the more popular like social aspects of the
Yes.
current day. So that's what you could use it for, but you can't have it be like a super solid piece of it. Like this is, you can use just this to show, but you can use this to show like
I
the
love how,
common opinion.
Good.
I love how it says updated Jan of 2013, as if like they had a first draft and they're like.
But we need to fix this.
Yeah.
We need to add.
We
We need to add
Okay,
facts,
six,
yeah.
Eastern time, so we can kind of guess.
They had to add
There are
pseudo.
ones-
All right.
I'm trying to think, probably New York. like,
We
maybe
can
like,
trust this. So this next source, source E, is what's called a primary source. And actually, the Twitter source is a primary source too. But what you have here is just screenshots of conversations that
How
you
are
actually
these
had.
screen
How
types?
is
So-
he exactly 75%
They were
Sorry.
So it doesn't make sense to talk about if these are credible, but it does make sense to talk about what we learned from their text messages. Yeah, Alistair.
You can kind of see it with the Mark and Carly one, you can see the nature of their relationship, how they talk to each other.
How would you characterize that relationship?
They don't seem to like communicate very well or trust each other.
Not communicating well, and part of that might be based on lack of trust. Okay. Yeah, they seem really dismissive to me in this. Like, don't be like that. I love you. Like, but a ILY, like it's just sort of like a, I'll throw that out there, or real nice, whatever. Like it always ends with this like dismissing of the other person's feelings, which doesn't seem like a great place to.
Don't be
to
like
be.
that.
Yeah.
It seems like he's almost getting mad she's almost getting mad at Mark for like going with Matt, but she's not even gonna go because she's hanging out with
Okay.
let's see,
So is Carly just
Sarah.
controlling? Does she just hate his friends and so
She
she
is
just
very
doesn't want him to go? I mean, I definitely have people like that in my husband's life too. Don't go hang out with him. Yeah, Malia.
No, she's not crazy because
Okay.
why did Anna post that picture? Like, if you knew that somebody had a boyfriend, then why would you post a picture of him like wrapping his arms around? Why is he wrapping his arms around you?
Yeah, right, exactly. Okay, but we're not on source F yet. We have to stick with the text messages still. Yeah, Zoe.
Oh, well, I guess that's going against source F, but like here she's directly getting mad at Mark for hanging out with Matt. Like it doesn't talk about any other girl or like anything. It's just specifically hanging out with one of his guy friends, even though he like still invited her and she has plans. It's like she's creating unnecessary drama where there's like no offense to be given. Like for me, it feels important when someone asks if I can hang out and they know I have plans, but they're still trying to include me. It seems like he was doing that, but instead of being like, oh, I have plans, thanks for inviting me, she gets mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, thanks for inviting me. You know, I don't like this guy and like, ugh, I don't want to go because of that. But like, we can have our own separate lives and she doesn't want to accept that. Okay.
Okay, she's being really weird because he asks her what she's gonna do if she's not with him, and she's like, "Oh, why does it matter?" But then she posts what she did on Twitter, so like she's like kind of trying to keep it a secret from him, but she's posting it so everyone else can see.
Yeah. So this,
So
it's like this communication. They're not being direct with each other either.
they're also
Tell-
super high key passive aggressive.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Tell me about Matt and Mark's conversation. Oh, yeah. And then
It shows her priorities, that she's more worried about what the populace is thinking before the person that she should be closest with.
Oh, okay, priorities equal like public perception.
Yeah.
Josie?
So really quick, for the Carly thing too, it shows us she's insecure, right? Because even if she's trying to control it or whatever, she's getting upset over a bonfire, and he's like, okay, so like, what are you gonna do if you don't come with me? And she instantly jumps, oh, you care about more than that, than you care about me.
Yeah,
So that shows a sense of insecurity.
yeah,
For the Matt section, it shows that, what's his name, Mark?
Yeah.
Mark confides in Matt a lot, right, with like telling him their like relationship problems, and it shows that like he's not afraid to like, how do I explain this? Like, it's almost kind of like quite like he's talking crap about Carly, but he kind of is at the same time a little bit.
yeah.
And then it also shows, like it gives a little more insight on their Mark's and Anna's relationship, because you can kind of look at the poster that says, right, he's saying, oh, Anna's coming, you two are then, you can't ditch your bestie.
Yeah, so it seems like Matt knows that Mark plus Anna is some kind of thing, even if it's just friendship. It is like, oh, if Anna is coming to something, then of course Mark's going to want to come. You know? All right, one more comment on this one. Oh, and then Aaliyah.
Okay, so I think it's interesting that Matt calls Anna Mark's bestie, but it's clear that Anna's not the one who's confiding about this thing. Confiding this to Matt. So it seems like the word bestie is kind of a cover up for it's like, oh yeah, you can't ditch her because she's your bestie, but it actually seems more like he's like just trying to like push them together.
Oh, like Matt wants to see, well, it makes sense if Matt and Carly don't get along. I doubt that that's just one-sided, you know? Aaliyah?
It kind of goes back to what Josie said, but I feel like the conversation between Matt and Mark shows that like Mark says stuff that he wouldn't say around Carly. Like he has like these other perspectives to him. So like maybe he's not as credible as he thinks just because he changes like he sounded so like accepting and understanding of like that she wouldn't come, or like not like understanding, but like very calm about it, and like not saying like he wouldn't tell her so that's
So dumb. Yeah, good.
or that I know he won't miss you, like he wouldn't say that to her, so I think he has like different sides to him.
Yeah, great point. Okay, now the infamous Instagram picture. What do we learn from this Instagram picture that is relevant to making the choice? Yeah, Kaylee.
Anna clearly wants her and Matt
She
to be
spelled
there.
banana. Oh,
Anna loves Mark.
Yeah. She literally says hashtag love him, like.
She also says.
But if
You don't say that about your friends? Yeah, Alistair, and then to Tenley. Wait. Yeah.
I think Carly might have liked the post. This isn't that relevant, but it says dancing queen, and then her Twitter name is Prancer.
Oh.
Maybe she has an alt account, like.
I mean, if Carly didn't like it, isn't that like kind of pathetic? Like you should probably just like it to show the world that you're like okay with what they're doing, you know? I don't know. Maybe that's just me, Tenley.
I think it's her trying to like throw it out there that I'm hanging with Mark instead of Carly.
Yeah.
throwing it in their face.
Like
He's mine. It's a bit of a Daisy and Gatsby move. Being like, Gatsby and I will drive together in the car and you guys can follow. Yeah.
It kind of shows superiority because like Anna's like, look, he's my best friend, you may be a girlfriend, but we're best friends. But also like, so never mind.
What?
Well, no.
I think she has, I don't know, some like a trope that I'm seeing lately. It's like a meme. I think she has that like chill best friend energy where she's like always wants to prove that she's like closer to the guy than the new girlfriend. Yeah, yeah. Okay, 2 more comments on this and then we'll be done. Yeah. Elsa.
It also says fave guy,
Yeah, I hate that.
and it's like my favorite guy, so you wanna date him then.
My fave guy is
Like, what is that
cutesy,
mean?
right? It's cute. Yeah.
I think you can say those things, but I think what like we can't use it there actually is that Anna's trying to like shove it in Carly's face because we don't know about Carly and Anna's relationship. So even though Anna might like what's his name, Mark again?
Yeah.
Even though she might like Mark, we don't know about the relationship, so we can't really be saying like, oh, Anna's purposely trying to shove this in her.
Great point, great point. So it maybe is not that Daisy Gatsby situation that I said, but it is like maybe a lack of awareness about potentially Carly's insecurities. All right. Mark also comments and says, who took this pic? It's awesome, which stays like pretty neutral, but he's not like thinking.
How did he not know the picture? He's
Wait.
right there.
Yeah.
His head is like, his face is like
Yeah,
this.
but like, I mean, it's like.
It's a very cute picture for a boy in a relationship to take.
Is she on his back? What's
Yeah,
happening?
Kaylee.
Okay, I think it shows that Mark was maybe a little bit oblivious because his comment was so neutral. It didn't even say like, oh yeah, we're great friends or anything like that. Like you would think that someone would do if they're in a relationship to kind of show like, oh no, I'm still faithful to this person. He's just, instead of taking a stand, like, oh yeah, we're good friends, but like, oh yeah, I love Carly. He's like, no. He's like, who took the pic? It's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
pretty much saying we look great together.
Yeah, he should have been like, oh, I have a picture of like this with Carly and I. Yeah. Okay. So we've dissected it. Look at our
I did not.
insane looking board after our conversation about these two fictional people. So just like you do in an argument essay, you can choose those two style of thesis statements. The one with the counter argument, although Mark says he loves Carly, blah, 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 blah. Or you can just do a straight up enthymeme, which is like, for these reasons, they should stay together, or for this reason, they should break up. And just like with a regular argument, you are trying to show that it's not just like separate reasons to create this list of reasons why they should break up or stay together, but that it's like a sort of connection between them. She is insecure and this has led her to kind of like acting out in, public ways that are embarrassing or whatever. I don't think she's really doing that, but you're trying to find the connections between the reasons to show that your argument is going to build. It's not just going to be point, point, point. All right, try and write a thesis statement just on the front of this purple sheet. Should they break up or should they stay together or somewhere in between? Yeah. Yeah, it's just for you. So Claire, hopefully you can see this mess behind us. You write your thesis statement in the chat box. Okay.
I don't wear shorts to school.
Frostbite.
Yesterday.
And you're ignoring the part about the letter. You're not saying like, Mark, you should break up. You're saying this is why Mark should or should.
Dear Mark.
Dear Mark, you suck.
Maybe Mark is a friendship team too.
Well, we should say the great name.
So it's not horrible. And so maybe there's a.
Terminate the relationship. His romantic entanglement.
Wait, that's
It would be for the best. If Mark
only people you know besides Sarah are
Back in
people
the day,
who know like
No, I
right.
still.
She can't hang out with people who don't like her. She doesn't know how to.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 2 more minutes to write that thesis.
Oh, what's his last name?
On the front.
There we go. Yeah, this is Titcher.
Mark.
Try this.
I should just be like, cancel Carly, Walker, and Walker.
Yes. Yeah.
Because it's not really about the two things, but it like relates. Should I say would?
I think it's like the grammar is a little bit fun. So it'd be like, I think it would be, I don't know. Yeah. 6 months is a long time to be with someone that you don't actually love, so I assume that's what you're saying. Mhm. I agree. What if you just say Matt should break up with Carly because she is dating him? Yeah, Mark can just sit there and wait until Carly breaks up with him.
And everything's
Okay.
And then I actually don't which one was last bit.
Let's do that. I wish we had two.
Yes. All right, back up here. So here's my thesis. I say Mark should break up with Carly. Spelled it wrong. Because the foundation of a good relationship is effective communication, and Mark and Carly are dismissive of each other's feelings. That's going to be my sort of sticking point for me. Like, there's all this gossip and whatever, and the Instagram and Anna. Okay, you can get over that, but the fact that they're just like, oh, whatever to each other, that's, I don't like that. So, just like we did with argument essays, then you break it down into an outline. So it's like, this is the reason that we kind of spend the shortest amount of time on synthesis, is because we've already done most of the hard work in learning how to write these. They're still arguments. So you break it down into its parts. So you guys do that on your paper for your thesis. I'll do it for mine.
What was the word for distrust? Distrust works.
Yeah, I like that word. About the same length. A little bit longer usually they end up being, because you're introducing all these sources. But I'm kind of around the same, not significant.
Claire, so are you saying that Mark should break up with Carly then in your thesis? That would be a part of it since it's like this direct proposal.
He looked very confused. Why is she talking to her computer like a crazy? All right, let's say this is my outline. Wherever you are in this process, just look up for a second. And now I want to fit in these sources. You have to use at least 3 sources. It is a very good idea to use at least 4 sources. And it's a great idea to try and use multiple sources in each paragraph. What you're trying to do is you're trying to get the sources kind of talking to each other, trying to like kind of show the way that you were doing in the conversation. Like I really love when Josie was talking about how the Twitter post corroborates Danielle's information about Sarah. It's like showing how they're interconnected. That's a great thing to be able to do. So you go through your paragraphs and you just think, where can I fit information from these different sources? So a good relationship takes lots of communication. I don't know that I've got a thing for that, but maybe I'll talk a little bit about how they can do this even though their schedules are very different. Lots of communication should lead to responding to each other's emotions. I'm going to use Matt's text for that, which is in source B, to show like Matt's a good friend because he listens and he validates emotions. In this case, the communication is dismissive. Again, I'm going to use source B in that, but I also want to use the Instagram post. So I want to show how, even though Mark probably knows that Carly's insecure, he still posts the way he does. And dismissing feelings, you aren't really in love, even though he says in source B that he is in love. And then don't stay with someone you don't love. I'm going to use source D and just kind of bring up, like, especially when you're a teenager, there's not really no point to that. So in this one, I don't have a lot of paragraphs where they're going to be interacting except for this one. And I'm going to work on that, seeing if I can find a way for it to happen. But on yours, see where you can fit in the different sources that will help to help serve as evidence for your points in each paragraph. Oh, I'm going to see here too. Secrets. And you do not need to fit all of them in. You just want to make sure you have at least 3 you are using.
I think it's got in almost all of them except for the schedules. I'm not sure what to do with those.
Yes, you definitely can. Like I use it E here and E there. And even if I wanted to talk about his conversation with Matt twice, I could do that. Yeah. Ooh, time's out.
Yep.
Okay.
What? Oh.
Well, what do you think? Should they break up?
Yeah.
Obviously, right? Does anyone think they should stay together?
Get out. Sorry.
It's high school. Like if you're like, we got to work on it in high school, like just. All right. So for next time, you're writing your final plain argument essay. This is not one that has to use sources. It's just your normal argument essay, number 4. And let me know if you have any questions about
Why
it.
don't
We're
I
done.
grade essays be?
The timed
Timed
essays are
essays.
halfway graded.
You're halfway there.
Oh, sorry, Claire. Okay. Well, you played along as best you could, so you are good. I'm going to take you off of that Canvas assignment, so you don't need to do anything for that.
Okay, thanks. Sorry, we kept cutting out and people were like talking, so I was like trying.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you got it out of the way, so now you don't have to watch the recording at least.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Yeah.
Bye.